Okay, hi. So we're going to be starting with Mary in the Mirror. And I'm sorry, this is very far away from the other stories. I have been way too busy. I have tried my best to edit other videos at the same time when I had free time. But the Alone Part 2, the way I did it, which is pretty dumb, is taking way too long to edit it. But now I can't go back because I'm way too far in. So it's going to take a little bit, but I'm trying to put as much time as I can into it. And other projects I've not revealed yet that are probably going to suck. But, yeah, the Trapdoor Theater, this is where we are, and now I have to look for a Victorian wall clock. This is an odd name, Trapdoor Theater. Be like, oh yeah, we're just going to go watch a horror movie at the Trapdoor Theater. Don't worry, we're not actually going to fall through a trapdoor. Like, that was how, that would definitely be how I would introduce it to someone. So, that's just so smart of a way to introduce it. Not really the smartest of a name, but the best way to introduce it if it is a name of a place. Found it. That was pretty easy. Sleuth clock badge. Odd. But let's go in. Ooh, you look nice. Okay. The baby sitter. Wait, what? Okay, it is different. What? Huh? This is the babysitter or the Babin sitter. I don't know. Is that a Y? It looks like an N. We don't talk about that. Candace invited her best friends over for a sleepover. The girls were all excited. After settling in, Candace asked her friends, "Who wants to hear a scary story?" They all raised their hands excited. Okay, guys, this is a scary one, so get ready. The girls got all giddy and waited for Candace to begin. Once upon a time, there was a herbalist. There was a herbalist named Mary Whitford who lived deep in a forest. You know what? We're going to give an English lesson. Anne can only work with vowels like an, orange, an orange. There was an orange. But if it's not a vowel, it would need to be just A. So there was a herbalist. So, Candace, get your daily English lesson. Flip you. Let's continue. Mary was a beautiful woman who had become a powerful healer and would make potions with herbs to help heal people from their illnesses. Missing an E, but yeah, better at telling stories than me. Okay, that rhymed, didn't it? She was the best healer anyone had ever known. Also, it's getting closer to Christmas. I'm kidding. We still have to get through Thanksgiving. Yeah. So this is our quaint little cottage. Doesn't really look like a college. It's more like a mountain, hill, whatever. Okay. Hi. Everyone would always comment about Mary's beauty, and many men courted her secretly, but Mary was more interested in making medicine than getting married. Sorry, sir, but fudge off. This is my healer. I'm not scary, just going it won't scare anyone away. Maybe be like, this is a weirdo, but not scare them. But then one day, while Mary was out in the forest collecting mushrooms, she tripped over a chain and fell face first into a large bear trap that snapped closed on her face. Can you heal that? Sorry. I don't know why I wanted to say that so bad. Mary managed to break free of the trap, but her face had become horribly damaged. She refused to see anyone for over a year while she tried different medicines to heal the scars on her face. Have your eyes always been white, or are you now blind? Kidding, how would you know what to mix in if you were blind? But nothing worked. Finally, she gave up and decided to wear a veil to cover her face, and she went back to work healing people again. Not gonna lie, if this person was healing me, I would just be scared if they're just gonna shove that down my throat with poison. I even asked her what had happened over the last year while she was wearing a veil. She told them that she just needed time to study medicine more and that her eyes had become light sensitive, so she wore the veil. That is a smart lie, I'm not gonna lie to you. Sure, they came up with it on the spot, we're just waiting months to use it. Then one day, a man named Lord Harlan showed up at our house. Lord Harlan was just one of the many men who had fallen in love with Mary, and he'd come to ask her to marry him. God, I feel bad for her. Nay, I'm stealing your horse. Come on, Mary. Let's get away from this abomination. He presented her with a huge ruby ring and promised her all of his wealth if she would just marry him. But Mary didn't care about the money. Mary? Like, Mary, get married to Mary? Okay, yeah, I'm gonna shut up. However, she did indeed find Lord Harlan to be very handsome, charming, intelligent, and sweet. So she told him that if he would accept her as she is, that she would marry him. I don't know what you look like now. So he knelt down and said, Mary, I accept you as who you are. Will you marry me? Mary answered, yes. Lord Harlan, I will marry you. Oh, God, I don't want him to treat her any differently. Mary knew that Lord Harlan was an honorable man and a man of his word. So she just knew that he would not be concerned with how she looked after the accident. If he is, guess who's the next one having an accident? Mary held out her hand and Lord Harlan slipped on the ring. They embraced each other and Lord Harlan raised his hands up to her face and took off the veil to kiss her. Oh gosh, I'm so scared. Please. No! Okay, that's, rude. You just took it off without saying anything. I know, but still. Once the veil was off, she smiled at him, but his eyes grew wide and his face cringed in disgust as he jumped backwards. What? What happened to you? You're a monster, he cried out loud. How about you're the monster here, dummy? In that single moment, Mary's heart was shattered completely. Lord Harlan ran from his house screaming aloud, Witch! Witch! Mary Whitford is a witch! Bro, you didn't even leave her veil. That is just rude in general. Sorry, girl. He does not deserve you. He sucks. Word spread throughout the villages that Mary Whitford had become a witch and that she practiced black magic, which wasn't true at all. Oh yeah, that reminds me. I've always wanted to go to Salem just because of the Salem witch trials. Witchcraft. Well, not really reminds me. It just came to my head about that. Nah, they ruined the face. They, like, flipped the smile upside down. Nah, dude, nah. I like this lady. She looks pretty. I like this lady's color of the dress. I feel like the pretty lady and this lady's dress should be swapped. Because, her hair is, like, reddish. So, red just goes way better with blue. I'm being honest there. The local people from the surrounding villages gathered together to confront Mary. They went to Mary's tiny house and kicked down her door. Poor Mary. Bro, if I lived during this time, I would have just stepped up and be like, it's alright, calm down. I will go over there and not break the peace. Just break their eardrums, get a whole entire megaphone and yell, not break peace. They dragged her out of the house and tore off her veil. Is that another veil? Yep. They screamed in horror at the scars on Mary's face and began taunting her and laughing at her. Okay, it is scars. It is scars. You've never seen a scar before? Surprised you don't have a scar. You look like you go straight out to fighting. Or is that just your dumb, stupid outfit? Sorry. I'm just raging now. They even made up a rhyme for her. Mary, Mary, once so lovely. Mary, Mary, now so ugly. Mary sat on the ground and wept as the villagers burned her down her house and left. Okay, maybe take what I said earlier to heart and fill your medicine with poison. Kill them all. They suck. Oh, yeah, you took my words. After that, Mary moved deeper into the forest, lived in a small mud and grass hut. She was filled with anger at how horribly she was treated and how she was betrayed. So she spent her time learning witchcraft and cast a spell on the world that would last forever. Yes! What are you burning? My dinner? How dare you? Mary. Yeah, I love you, but why the fudge are you burning my dinner? She wrote down on parchments what that spell would do in the full parchment in each village for all to know. Ye Town Square. These abominations suck. The spell would curse anyone who repeated that ugly rhyme. The villagers made up about Mary by turning their faces into that for real monster. Sorry. Ooh. If you beat her name 3 times in front of a mirror in a darkened room, she will appear inside of it looking at you, and something terrible happens. You know what would be funny? If some evil stepmom was getting ready for bed, and they're evil to, like, their stepdaughter, and their stepdaughter's name is Mary, just be like, Mary, Mary, Mary. Why would you do that today? That noise was as in, like, this Mary was coming jumping at the stepmom. Sorry. I don't know why that went to my head, but whatever. And if you repeat her name 3 times... Oh, yeah, no, I already read that. Whoopsies. Oh, I didn't finish reading it. In a darkened room, she will appear inside of it, looking back at you, and something terrible happens. Well, I have scars on my face, too. That's not really terrible, as long as she doesn't actually hurt me with a bear trap. Boo! Candace screamed. The girls all screamed with fright. Nice. And that was the story of Mary Whitford. The girls jumped up and clapped, all of them agreeing that the story was great, but also very, very scary, yet very sad, too. It was great. It was scary. It was sad. Lovely. That's what I call a good story. And Tara put her hand up and dared them all to repeat Mary Whitford's name in front of Candace's mirror together. At first, they all said, no way, but after a little convincing, they decided to do it. Isn't it like one single person, or can it be all of them? Whatever. Sorry, I keep yawning. Holy heck. And girls lit some candles, turned out the lights, and stood in front of the mirror and said the name Mary Whitford 3 times and waited. Back to my story later. I meant earlier. Whoopsies. Pretend you don't need the last name. Suddenly, a frightening face appeared in the mirror, and Candace screamed, but nobody else did. She looked at her friends and asked, did you see that? But they all said no. What? She said the rhyme. She said the rhyme saying the story. She's gonna kill herself. Literally. This is like a suicide mission now. It was then that they admitted that they said the name with their eyes closed. Candace was the only one who kept her eyes open. And then suddenly... Your friends suck. Wow, they lied straight to your face. Wow, wow. 2 long and frightening hands reached out from the mirror and grabbed Candace, pulling her inside of it. Woo! You did, dude. Sorry. I sound happy that she's gonna die. I don't actually. I was just like, woo, something's interesting happening. And it's like, oh, you're gonna die, dude. That was not the smartest way to connect it, but whatever. Now the girls could see Candace inside of the mirror looking back at them. Only now, Candace looked monstrous. Wait, why did the one with the space PJs have to go? What? Close enough to space PJs. Why did she have to be taken? Why couldn't, like, pink PJ lady get taken? I don't know. Hers look like flowers, and hers is obviously hearts. So, based on those 2, I feel like Rainbow Lady should go. I don't know why I'm choosing rainbows over, like, I can't even tell what it is. Now she's trapped inside of this mirror with me forever, yelled Mary Whitford. She glared at the girls and let out a horrible scream before disappearing with Candace. That's a horrible scream. I'm not the best at this. No one ever saw or heard from Candace again. Oh, lovely. Repeat her name 3 times in front of the mirror? No, don't do it. It said, if you. I don't think that's really how it was meant to go. Not, no, don't do it. I think it's meant to be something else. But, and also, was that meant to scare me? Because it didn't. I mean, obviously it was meant to scare me. It was a jump scare. What the fudge? So, that was a great story. Oh, I like your uniform as well. No, I'm gonna steal your hat. Well, I'll see y'all in the next one. Yippee. Hello. I am back. And I am playing Teke Teke. Ooga Booga. Golden Egg. What is this, Easter now? Kidding. We haven't even gone through Thanksgiving. Girl, what? I thought that was an entrance door. What? I tap it open. I figured out how to open a door. These are some interesting possession photos, but okay. I see your addiction. I got it. I'm scared. Give me the fudging egg. I can open a door now. But I can't find an egg. I can open the door, but I can't find an egg. Bro, what? At least I figured out how to open a door. Okay, I'm gonna shut up about that now. Miss Lady, do you know where the egg is? I'm gonna call you Momo. I don't know. Kurai Morai. I definitely said that wrong. I am so sorry. Kurai Murray. Kurai Murray? Well, since that's the theater's name, I'm just gonna call her Momo. I don't know why, I just want to. I promise I can open up doors. Teke. Ooh. Misato was telling her brother Genji and her friends Nico and Suki the tragic story of Kama Kinoshita, who became known as Teke. Kama would always cut across the railroad tracks on her way home from school, but on this one day, the station master switched the tracks just as Kama was crossing, Misato explained. This caused her foot to get stuck between the tracks. She fell to the ground. No matter how hard she tried to break free of the track, she couldn't do it. I'm sorry. You gotta be careful, lady, or don't cut through train tracks? Didn't think that was an option, did you? A crowd of people began to form on the overpass. They looked on in disbelief, but none of them offered to help. They just talked about how awful it was. Dummies, like what? At least like scream and like tell the train dude to stop, the conductor. Joe. Kama turned and waved to the people on the overpass, asking them for help, but she got no response. She didn't understand why no one would answer her. Throw your books at them. Let them see how bad it is. And then the worst possible thing that could happen happened. A train came barreling down the tracks, heading directly towards Kama. I mean, why would they change the train tracks if a train wasn't coming? That's just dumb. So obviously a train was coming. I'd be like, I'm not even going to ask for help. This is the end. Kama was now absolutely terrified because the train showed no sign of slowing down. She screamed frantically and waved her arm to the people on the bridge. But no one on the bridge or nearby did a thing. They just continued to stare and look on in shock. Misato said with a sad and concerned look at her face. Sheesh. I was silent for a moment, then Nico asked Misato, so what happened to Kama? Misato took a moment, then the train ran her over, she said sadly. I need to put a flash warning, don't I? I should have done that with every video. Whatever. This is so sad. Well, not whatever. I actually feel bad now. I don't know why I said that. I'm sorry. That is so sad, Suki said quietly. But it doesn't end there, Misato warned. Kama's spirit returned with just her upper body and took revenge on those who refused. Oh my gosh. Refused to help her. She carries a sickle to make people look just like her in 2 pieces. She walks on her hands because of her long, sharp nails. It makes a sound like teke, 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 Misato explained. Where are your clothes? Ew. But she stopped though, right? Suki asked. No, Misato said. She continues to go after anyone who is like those who don't help others in need. But she must always be near a train station to remain in this world, Misato finished. Just a train station, or could it be like train tracks as well? Because that's how she gets from train station to train station. Unless they're remotely close. A long silence followed after Misato had finished telling the story. Genji then broke the silence. I think her spirit is angry because she felt nobody cared about her. I don't know if this is foreshadowing or not, but I believe this dude's about to do something dumb. Like, very dumb. Like, dumb of the dumb. Like, first place medal for the dumbest dude alive. Sorry, I'm getting too far. Maybe someone just needs to show her that there are people who do care. Maybe that would bring peace to her spirit, Genji explained, compassionately. Everyone fell deep into thought. When he got home, Genji spent the night researching everything he could find about Kama. She died at Hata Station, which was just a few towns over. Genji decided he would go there the next day to show Kama respect. Aww, Kama looks beautiful and is wearing clothes. The next morning, Genji boarded the train that went to Hata Station. He thought about everything he had learned about Kama and how horrible it must have been for her that fateful day, but he planned to make things right. Genji arrived at Hata Station. Safely and wasted no time. He walked briskly out of the station and headed straight for the location where Kama had been hit by the train. Does it say exactly where? Once Genji arrived at the place Kama had that had died, he laid down white chrysanthemum flowers and prayed for her spirit's peace. You see, Kama, people do care about you. Please be at peace and harm no one ever again, Genji pleaded. Who comes up with these flower names? Seriously. After paying respect to Kama, Genji walked by the overpass where the onlookers had gathered and stared up at it. It pained him to know that they didn't do anything to help poor Kama. He slowly turned away and headed back to the station. Genji felt really good about what he had done to help Kama's spirit know that people do care about her and what happened. He truly believed this would help bring her spirit to finally rest peacefully and go to heaven. Yay! Before retiring to bed for the night, Genji stared out of his bedroom window into the world outside and offered one last prayer to Kama. Whoopsies. Rest in peace, dear Kama, forever, he said. Genji laid down and fell into a deep sleep quickly. He was happy in his heart and content in his soul. I cannot fall asleep quickly, no fair. It wasn't long before Genji was abruptly woken up by a loud scratching noise. It sounded as if someone was dragging nails across the glass on the balcony doors. Hi, dude. He jumped up from his bed and cautiously tiptoed towards the balcony doors. As he did, he began to hear his name being whispered in a raspy voice. Genji! Genji reached the balcony doors and to his shock, he could see Kama's shadow through the glass. He jumped backwards in fear when he saw her sickle. Don't be afraid, Genji. I just want to be your friend, she said in a crackled voice. Then... boom! Genji awoke in terror, quickly thinking what had happened was a dream, but he was shaking and sweating, so he slowly began to consider that it may not have been a dream at all. He thought about it for a bit and decided to talk it over with Misato and the girls. The next morning, Genji met with the girls and told them about the horrible dream. They too were shocked and frightened, but quickly assumed it wasn't real and that Genji should calm down and forget it ever happened. Oh, fudge. I don't think this is going to end well. I don't know why, but I just think it's not going to end well. Genji realized they were probably right and thanked the girls for the support they had given him. Nico went to Genji and hugged him tightly, telling him that everything would be alright, but someone was watching. Kama? Or Teke Teke? I forgot Kama's last name. That someone was Kama. and all she saw was that hug. Nico and Genji were just friends, but that is not the way Kama saw it. She saw Nico as a threat. That was no dream Genji had. It was real. Bro, your eyes. Are you okay? Oh my gosh. Later that night, Nico headed to the train station to catch a train to see her grandmother a few towns over. As she walked along, she had the strangest feeling that she was being followed. She swore she could hear someone behind her. Girl, what? Girl, what? Oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God. Nico was very nervous now and picked up her pace. The sound she was hearing became louder and louder and seemed to be getting closer and closer, but each time she looked behind her, she couldn't see anyone. Oh my God. She has an invisibility potion. Nico trotted towards the stairs leading up to the tracks when she heard a very loud scratching noise. Scratching sounded like sharp metal being dragged along concrete. She quickly whirled around to see what it was. I don't know why I tried making that noise. I can't make a scratching noise unless I actually scratch something, but it was Kama flying through the air with her sickle, but it was too late. Kama had gotten to Nico. It was all over an instant. I'm saying it right. Nico, right? I think so. Sirens blared throughout the neighborhood, and word about what had happened spread quickly. Genji, Misato, and Suki rushed to the scene and heard that the victim was Nico. They burst into tears and consoled each other as best they could, but they were broken completely. Was that his... No. Nico was his friend, not his sister. Is Misato his sister? I think so. Genji's mind was racing. He needed to be alone to walk and think, so he pulled away from Misato and Suki and took off. And as the rain began to fall, he put the blame on himself for what had happened to Nico, and slowly his rage began to build. Bro, why are you blaming yourself? You weren't even at the train station. My God. Finally, the pain became too much for him. He dropped to his knees and screamed out in anger, Kama! I tried to help you. How could you do this? To his astonishment, he heard a reply. A raspy voice spoke. I will never let anyone come between us again. Come between us, Genji. Ever. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Whoa, whoa. Genji stood up defiantly, but he kept his cool. He knew he would have to put an end to Kama's evil ways, but how? Then he thought of one way that could get rid of Kama once and for all. But you might have to make the ultimate sacrifice to do it. We'll see if that sacrifice actually works, dude. Genji sprinted home and immediately went online. He searched for an abandoned train station that he could lure Kama to that was far enough away that everyone would be safe. He found one that had been abandoned long ago, and it was very far away. Genji booked a one-way ticket to the abandoned station and hopped on the train. He didn't tell anyone where he was going to keep them safe and far away. He didn't tell anyone where he was going to keep them safe and far away. He took only what he needed and focused on what he had to do and how he would do it. And focused solely on what he had to do and how he would do it. Okay, so this man is on his way to an abandoned train station to lure Kama there, or Teke Teke. Still don't remember her last name, but we don't talk about that. Yeah, I forgot. Whoopsies. Well, let's continue. Oh yeah, I keep seeing this ad outside the lobby of the game. I'm just waiting till the new story comes out because the ad's for a new story. Okay, so I'm getting distracted, but I've done The Babysitter, I See You, and Sleepy Hollow, if I'm correct. Now I just have the other 5 to go because I'm doing Teke Teke right now. I know I'm doing this during the video. I'm sorry, I'm getting distracted. But first, Genji had to make one stop, Hata Station. He went to where Kama was hit by the train and spoke to her. My dear Kama, I found the most lovely, peaceful place that I thought we could go to together. I'll see you there, Kama. I'll be waiting, Genji said calmly. Genji got back on the train for the long journey. He was overcome with sadness when he thought about what happened to poor Nico. He tried to keep his mind on what he had to do, but it was hard. Genji had to walk 5 miles into a very remote area before he arrived at the abandoned train station. There wasn't a sign of life anywhere to be seen. He headed towards the train depot to look around. And I know the T is silent, but I get confused sometimes on how to pronounce it. Genji looked all around the outside of the depot. It was perfect for his plan. He went inside the building to have a look. Sorry. Inside the depot, there were overturned chairs and a table. There are also some chains on the floor. That's perfect, Genji thought. I can lure her into a chair and chain her up, he thought. Isn't she a ghost, dude? How are you going to sit her on a physical chair and then tie her up with a physical chain? I mean, how's she grabbing a physical sickle? I don't know. Suddenly, Genji was startled by the sound of a raspy voice. Hello, Genji, the voice said. It was Kama. Genji whirled around in shock to see her before him, holding her sickle. She seemed faded and weak, but still dangerous. Hello, Kama, Genji said softly. I am very weak from the long travel. Going from station to station makes me fade from this world, but as you can see, when I am near you, I come back to life. Kama explained as her color came back completely. Maybe you should come sit down here, Genji offered, pointing to the chair. Kama-san, she stared at Genji intensely. Why, Genji? So you can chain me up like you planned? She asked slowly. I can hear your thoughts, Genji. I know what you want to do with me, but I'm sorry to tell you, it's not going to happen. She continued sternly. Kama slowly floated up from the ground as Genji stepped backwards. I am deeply saddened that you want to reject me, just like those monsters on the overpass did, but I want to give you a second chance, a chance that will keep us together forever. Kama said in an evil tone. No, Kama, please, Genji begged. But it was too late. She was already upon him. Nobody ever saw or heard from Genji again. I think this is the one time I actually realized I need a flash warning in here. Whoopsies. Sorry, I'll try and remember to do that for this video. Misato never got over the disappearance of her brother Genji. I knew it. It was Misato. She thought about him every single day, but 5 years after Genji had gone missing, she got a call from the police telling her that they had found him. Yay! Yippee! Wait. Didn't he have to walk 5 miles to get to the station? And now it's 5 years later? Different, unit, I guess you could say. Years and miles, but the same number. Or what was left of him. They told her something terrible had happened to him and he had not survived. Misato burst into tears and went into mourning her loss. She was completely broken. How can they even tell that's him? Be like, yeah. The skeleton is Genji. It says that on his forehead. On his skull. Whoopsies. Like, bro, what? 1 week later, Misato boarded the train to go visit the site where Genji was found. She brought white chrysanthemums to leave at the site. She tried to hold back the tears the whole ride there. It has its own seat. A taxi driver knew of the location and was nice enough to take her directly to the site, which was out of the way. She asked him if he would come back in an hour or so, and he said he would. Misato slowly and nervously made her way over to the depot building. She entered the small structure and her heart began to pound. It was the last place Genji ever saw. She laid the chrysanthemums on the floor and prayed earnestly for Genji's peace. But as she was praying, she heard something loud. She heard something loud scrape behind her. If you're at like a flower shop, well, if I was at a flower shop, I'd just be like, yes, can I have those white flowers over there? Like, which ones? The chrysanthemums. Bro, I'd be so awkward and just laughing it off. And the florist would probably be grabbing it and laughing his head off or her head off. She jumped up and spun around. To her horror, she saw Kama there before her with her evil smile. "Hello, Misato. We've been waiting for you," Kama said in a raspy tone. Misato stood silent. Then another voice broke the silence. Suddenly, Genji appeared in the room. To Misato's total shock, he looked just like Kama. His skin was white and his face looked just as evil. "I knew you would come, Misato. With you at our side, we will be unstoppable," he said in a gnarly voice. "You look like that. You're horrified. You look dead. And you look like that." Both Kama and Genji rose up from the ground with menacing looks in their eyes. "No, Genji, please, don't!" Misato cried out. Sorry. But neither of them seemed to hear her pleas. And in an instant, she was gone. Dun, dun, dun. And then there were three. Oh, wow, so scary. Ooh. Well, this girl and Momo are very pretty. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this story. I'll be moving on to the next one now. Hi guys, I'm not get distracted and do this. So, I hope y'all enjoy, and I'm sorry for not posting. The Golden Arm. There was once a little girl named Elizabeth who was born with only half of her left arm. She was a sweet little girl, and everyone loved her. Elizabeth grew up to be a very intelligent and beautiful woman. But none of the men in town seemed interested in her as for her hand in marriage. "You all suck. You suck." Elizabeth's heart was broken. She thought she would never find love. Then one day she met a handsome and wealthy man named Colin. They fell in love immediately. Not long after, Colin asked Elizabeth to marry him, and she said yes. Hey, good for you, girl. Can I steal your dress up pretty? The wedding was like a fairy tale. No one had ever seen such a beautiful day. Yeah, because no one was there. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm going to shut up now. Other than reading the story, but... And instead of giving Elizabeth a gold ring, he gave her a beautiful golden arm. And the golden arm fit perfectly. Now Elizabeth had a complete left arm, and it was beautiful. When did you take the measurements for it to be for it to fit perfectly? I can't speak. Also, how does it fit perfectly? Is there like glue on the other end? Extra strong Galilla. Whatever, you know what? Is there extra strong Galilla hot glue on the other side? Elizabeth and Colin were as happy as could be. Why do you have so many of the same plates? Oh my gosh. But then tragedy struck. Elizabeth fell terribly ill. It seems like something I would do, but then tragedy struck. Being extra dramatic. Definitely seems like something I would do. But why is the bed so tiny? I know you're Roblox scenes, but sheesh. Elizabeth changed completely. She became cruel and screamed at Colin all of the time. That's rude. I don't know how sickness could do that, to be honest, but that's rude. All she ever talked about was her golden arm. Colin knew that she loved the arm more than she loved him. I don't know why I'm sounding like that. She always made him promise that when she died, he would bury her with a golden arm. Of course, he always promised. Okay, this is true love. I'm glad you at least found him and not anyone else. I really want us to slap Elizabeth in the head. When Elizabeth died, Colin's heart was broken. He buried her with a golden arm just as he had promised. Colin's bad luck continued. His factory burned down and his crops failed. He was now poor. And I am now a glow stick. Okay, no, that's a complete joke. I'm still human morsel. But, yeah, that's fun. The bakers came and told him that they were taking his house and land. Colin had to do something, but what? Wait, I just realized something. Did that say factory or farm? Oh, factory. Okay. But factory, and then it says crops failed. How are you growing crops in a factory? You know what? I'm not questioning you. I'm gonna just continue. Please don't say it's something to do with the golden arm. He painfully decided to borrow Elizabeth's golden arm. He dug her up and took the golden arm. Sheesh, dude, sheesh. Colin sold the arm and paid the bank. The goldsmith melted the arm and made many different things with the gold. How much gold money did you give him for the gold? How much gold did you give him for the money? That's bad. That's wrong. That night, Colin couldn't sleep. He thought he could hear Elizabeth's voice in the wind. She seemed to be saying, "Where's my golden arm?" The voice was getting closer and closer. Now the voice was just outside the door. "Colin, where's my golden arm?" The voice demanded angrily. Oh, dang, dude's gonna die. Boom! The door flew open, and Elizabeth's ghost came floating in. She was pale and had red, glowing eyes. "Where's my golden arm?" she screamed. Colin tried to explain that he had to borrow it. "But he promised he would make her a new one." "I don't want a new one, I want mine!" she screamed in anger. He explained to her that the goldsmith had melted the arm down so he couldn't get it back. How are you still alive if you spent that long explaining? Because I'm guessing it took a little bit, at least. Excuse me, sorry. Elizabeth shrieked in anger and flew over to Colin. She grabbed him and dragged him back to her grave. No one ever saw or heard from Colin again. They say that Elizabeth is still roaming the earth looking for every drop of her golden arm. Dang. You both are wearing bracelets and necklaces, I think. I saw that on Girl, whatever. And we all know that gold is found in many different electrical devices like phones, computers, or tablets. Who knows? Maybe some of Elizabeth's golden arm is in your phone, computer, or tablet. I mean, that'd be cool. You never know, but you might find out. Her hair is like invisible. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll see you in the next one. And I'm really sorry for not posting. Also, do you think my outfit's cute? I don't know why, but this little skirt thing always makes me think of, like, clowns. Especially, like, their little neck things. Okay, I'm gonna shut up and go now. Bye!